since we got an hour is crazy. I don't know what to talking about now. And since we got this big ass meal, what's a big ass video? Playboy Cardi's wildest artist. I don't know what the fuck this is. I know it's kidding. It might just be I don't know if it's an essay, a documentary, whatever. I don't know what this is about, so we're gonna watch it.
This is Ken.
It's about Ken. Oh, it explains his story, I guess.
Playboy Cardi's wildest artist.
I don't know his story, so let's see what we got going on.
I said I got Glock 19s, ARPs, I got hella Ks because I really do. I'm literally partially crazy.
His music.
Yeah, what? And he actually like not like all that violent in real life is really nice.
Has taken over the underground over
You
the
don't.
past
You don't
few
see it.
years,
Doesn't. You know.
putting on the craziest shows ever and
Yeah, those
creating
tips on
albums
him,
that
really, bro.
people would call album of the year. And this is all
bet
because
Chaos
of his
was really good.
ability to make music that would make you want to rage. Ken has a lot of critics because of this, filled with people underrating his music and a few controversies within the underground. Ken's story shows a person who didn't have much
Alright, this breed is not hitting that
having
breed.
the entire industry at arm's reach.
I'm still enjoy
He's
it.
one of the 3 figures leading the charts for changing the music industry in the 2020s. One of the
Yo, I thought this was great. That was the first glimpse. I didn't probably see him.
leading the charts for
I'm gonna-
changing the music industry in the 2020s. So, let me help you understand his story by taking you all the way back to
Alright,
April
dude, yeah.
11.
Woo, whatever the MF Doom playing. Yeah, this is the first time we watched a long video in ages, I think, bro. Like,
Carson was born Kenyatta Lee Fraser.
I don't really be watching these
Ken
type of videos I was
born
doing.
Kenyatta Lee Fraser Sr. and a mother whose
That's
name
not
I don't know
honest.
about. But it was his mom that would spark his interest in music, playing artists like Soulja Boy and Lil Wayne in the household. His mom was also tapped into the Atlanta trap scene, where Future would be a notable part of it. As Ken was growing up in Atlanta, he was just like you and me.
Wait,
He
what?
was watching cartoons like the
Dream
Boondocks,
Test so hard, bro.
calling Riley his favorite character, and he played video games like Def Jam and WWE. And Ken was also a football fan, looking up to the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh yeah, I think him and Destroyed Onion just like nerds
calling
made
him the
him.
GOAT.
I know
He
that's what
also
someone
loved
said.
anime like Danganronpa, and he read a bunch
So
of
good for
comic
him.
books.
So you,
The most
most
comic
famous
book is
people
probably
are.
something
I thought my
that
pause
you
stopped
know,
working again.
and that's the X-Men comics. But just like Wolverine, Ken wasn't the most peaceful guy in school.
Maybe not. I don't know. A lot of famous people are looking like dogs.
But it was
Yo, I need a drink with this food. Yo, I
school
don't know.
that really put Ken in the position that he's in
Is
today.
it easy?
Ken was talking to a girl from school on
Fuck is all this shit? So I can't use the mouse I'm eating. I just bought my beer. Yo, what the fuck is this screenshot?
FaceTime
What is going on? Why is this motherfucker with a cat mask on down the bottom of it?
while watching an 808 Mafia video. And there was a guy with that girl who happened to be TM88's nephew.
He was on the other end.
I was about to guess if that was him because I did see something. It all started because he met Team
And I'm
Idiot.
like, who the fuck is that? Like, it was him. And I was watching
It's
it
only half in you. I gotta clean up now.
while we're on the phone.
Gems or
He
nothing.
like, that's my uncle. And I'm like, no, it's not. He just put him on the phone. And I was like, yo, I'm trying to come over there and work.
If you don't know what 808 Mafia
That's
is,
right.
it's one of the biggest production teams in Atlanta, founded by both Southside and TM88. Southside has songs with Travis Scott, Kanye West, and Future, producing the iconic song Mess Up Some Commas. And TM88
I need
will
to
produce
drop
one of
my
the
baby.
best emo rap songs of all time in EXO Tour Life. As Ken became friends with Lil 88, he became more and more present
You I saw this video yesterday. This was the Eminem making beat
in the
system
studio
thing, I think.
settings. He started seeing how the recording process worked and naturally picked up on it. And because of that, he has the connections he's needed to make a breakthrough in the industry. He meet people like Young Thug, Travis Scott,
Well, I don't know what this is, but shit, I'm gonna try it out.
and Future. But his music journey wouldn't start yet. He was
Watching videos with
still
food
in
is fucking
school and
amazing.
He didn't really like it. So
Fuck
he
school.
naturally did what anybody would do when they don't like school. Drop out. And he was then sent to military school.
But I'm so
It
obsessed
was
with what
in
the fuck?
military school where he would start questioning what he wanted to do in life. And this was mainly because he didn't really have anything to do. in
Some people
military
find
school.
out.
He wasn't allowed to have his phone around, but he had it anyway, and he was FaceTiming some of the females. And this had him
Oh, let's find the
sent home
source, yeah.
early.
Oh, that one. I don't really like it. I don't know what it's called.
But it was the constant
It's worth
thinking
a lot
in
of sleep
military
with that.
school that led him to wanting to do music. And that would come in
So I don't know what it's called, but it's this orange. Orange one. It's sort of like, yeah, I don't know.
the song 32. Ken actually got a blog post from the page Rap Direct. And if you're asking how we can hear this song,
This shit can really
we're
stop.
never going to hear the song. And that's
Ah.
because of Ken's ex-girlfriend.
before somebody
No
had
way.
deleted my SoundCloud. This girl I used to talk to, she had deleted my SoundCloud.
And you know what you can do to prevent getting your SoundCloud or anything
Please don't do
deleted?
this, bro.
By signing up to Aura. Do a quick Google search
I have to do it for you, bro.
on your name. Search to All Black. Aura is here to fix that.
That transition was like it's made.
Rated why yo. This is because he believes that went to protect your data and your information. Back in the video. Ken at the time went under the Instagram handle Boy Barbie Ken
Yeah, I like
Carson.
videos like
And
this.
this is
They're good videos
because
so
he
far.
believes that Barbie's boyfriend, Ken Carson, is a fly dude. And they both share the
Is
same
that
three
actually why it's
letters
named after?
of their
Oh,
names.
yeah, it's
My
gotta be.
real name is Kenyatta, but everybody called me Ken, so like it like went right along.
Oh, I got Tate.
Most importantly, as Ken puts it, he just has a hard lifestyle. And in the same year, Ken started talking about
Yo, I never watched
artists
the
he
Bob
wanted
movie.
to
I think
work
that's
with,
super special.
such as Skrillex and another
That's what
artist. who was
Skrillex looks like.
present,
Yo, I never knew what Skrillex looked like. That's the motherfucker that we're making the MC.
even going as far as saying he was better than Lil Uzi and how
Yeah.
he was better
Oh,
than
yeah.
everybody. Ken was about 2,175
Oh,
miles
zip
from
out the ball.
Atlanta in one of Cardi's shows in Los
Yo,
Angeles.
where is the
with
show
Cardi
set?
performing songs like Broke Boy and Fetty. Ken was enjoying the show
My bad, yo. This sauce just won't come out. Yeah, this shit about to pop. Yo, where is this fucking sauce? Hold on, I'm gonna let it play while I watch this out.
until he wasn't. Ken got kicked out because
I had got the fine.
and Cardi noticed this. Knowing Ken made his way from
No, that's how
Atlanta
it
to
works.
the crazy distance of Los Angeles, he felt a bunch of empathy for Ken, getting him a wristband to get back into the show. Starting a relationship that would change music only a
That's how it was
few years
started.
later.
What?
And like Cardi, he was really into fashion. His first interactions with fashion were the Jeremy Scott lines with Adidas.
Them
which he
shits
thought
is
was the
weak as
coolest thing
fuck.
in the world. And after they stopped making those, Ken started getting heavy into the Japanese fashion scene. When he started researching where most of the
Yo,
designs
I
came
can't get no
from, he
fucking
eventually got into
contact.
brands like the likes of Number 9, Undercover, and Mihara's. However, his outfits at the time were pretty basic. If you look at these pictures, Ken
Yeah,
wearing a
right, yeah,
bunch of Jordans with another picture of him in the studio with a caption, I
You're
woke
looking
up
kinda
like
sexy
this,
there.
but fans saying he looks like the NBA player Anthony Edwards in that headshot. These pictures
Yeah,
were
sorta.
all released in 2017, which was the same year that Cardi released his debut mixtape, self-titled, having classics like
This shit won't open. See, I guess not getting the
Magnolia
Tate.
and Woke Up Like This. And if you remember that post from earlier, fans stated that he predicted Woke Up Like This. He actually loved self-titled
this is
so
before
much
that, no?
that he'd call it the most inspirational album ever. And it was from this
maybe it's
inspiration where
big
Ken
Cardi
would
fan.
drop his only surviving song from that era, called Geeked Up, on June 27, 2017.
These niggas hating, but they still stealing sweat from Barbie. And niggas bitches wanna fuck.
Yeah, no, I don't really like
At the time,
Oh,
Ken was
Ken.
constantly recording music, being in the studio in LA,
Eminem's sauce, fucker.
and it was in 2017 where Ken would perform in a live
Oh,
audience for the first time, and he'd perform songs like Geeked
It's
Up,
small ass state.
where I can't really find footage from. Ken also started hanging out with
Yeah, he did put on a
underground
lot of weight.
rappers like Doo-Wop Kane. But even with the world and the
Oh, I'm
palm,
Ken been around for that long.
he's feeling like he could do everything he wanted. Ken also felt something: isolation. Ken felt like
Oh! Damn, where's my keyboard? Oh, I don't want to use my white shirt to clean up. Surely. Wait, there's no like sauce on it. So. That goes motherfucker playing
he had
XXX
no
and test.
friends. Ken even had a tweet
That text
towards
ain't even
God
censored.
saying he was doing bad. And
Yo, I wonder if motherfucker tag God. I wonder if he actually is religious behind this stuff. Even if he is, I guess it's so disrespectful as fuck.
questioning the existence of happiness. Ken had all the pressure in the world
Damn.
to become something. And that's exactly what he would try to do in 2018. Music was the only way out for
Now, how old is he? Because
And
he's already had all
he
this
did
stuff.
just that, releasing the song called Dream, produced
I
by
can't top. Hey Siri, how old is Ken Carson?
Ken Carson died 7 April 1994 at age 79 in Jacksonville. By the way, if you have another request, you don't need to say Siri before you ask it.
This motherfucker's 79.
TM88, with Future's influence heavily rubbing off on Ken.
I can't fall in love with no freak. All that fussing and fighting, baby girl, I don't need it.
What is this?
And
Yeah,
it
I'm
was
not gonna
in
lie.
the same year where Ken started distancing himself from wearing Jordans and Nikes, opting for a more archive-like style. This was evident in
Wait,
the
what
song
shot this older
Ken
person
Jordan
thing? I
called
don't-
Fan Behavior, released on February 25, 2018, wherein he references Raph Simmons and Rick Owens.
I've been rocking this Ricky Rack. I've been rocking this referee. She got the neck for a dominate. I would never need a stylist. You look
At the same time, Ken started getting
well.
traction in the underground, even getting a co-sign from Made in Tokyo, who at the time was up, having released Uber Everywhere just a few years prior. Ken followed that co-sign up
American Idol,
by
not
saying
zombie,
he dropped
no.
an actual tape in the 31st of October. And if you think that date is familiar, it would actually be a recurring theme in Ken's music. But unfortunately, that tape didn't release in October. Ken would state that he'd release Boy Barbie in January, and early Ken fans were anticipating Ken to drop something.
This is
And he
I'm
was going
actually.
to.
Yeah, isn't this coming like
The release
2020?
of a song called Fold. The teaser was of a video where a Barbie doll was being pulled and Ken's song was playing. If you think V-Files Loud is familiar, V-Files Loud actually featured legendary artists before they were up. It had artists like
No, V-Files fuck with the young niggas before they even was flexed up. From the rip.
and Ken was going to be a part of the people that V-Files would mess with. And through V-Files, he'd release the song Fold. As part of the promotional material, Ken was rapping to the beat produced by Richie South.
Yo,
On
why
November
did I stream
30th,
an
he
effect on
released
this
the
motherfucker?
actual song. And
Oh,
I'll
I've
let
seen
you be
this.
the judge.
my bedroom won't follow. Girl, I'm tryna fuck, take off your pants, so what's the holla? She like when I hit it from the
One of the commenters on the
Let's see
song
some-
was
the bit's not
Danny
bad.
Cruz, and he'd actually predict Ken's future success. Ken was
What? Oh, that's OG. That's not really that crazy. It's just saying.
next up. However, there was something brewing in next year. And no, it wasn't Ken dropping Boy Barbie. I'm pretty sure you know where this is going. In January
so nasty.
2019, Ian Connor released a tweet, Whole Lotta Red, and how it was going to be the best album of 2019. At the time,
What?
songs like Cancun, directed by Hiji World,
Fucking
already
nigga,
surfaced,
that being
and fans were
Cancun.
heavily anticipating the album. Boy Barbie didn't drop yet, and Ken was hanging around Cardi a little more. But before
And
you
so
think
they would've
Boy
known
Barbie
each other.
didn't have a chance at all, Ken released a picture of the Boy Barbie cover art in February 23. It features the 808 Mafia tag right below, and had songs that were already released like Geeked Up and Dream. Ken said that the album was going to release in March, but it never came out.
Damn,
Fans
yeah.
would point out that Ken lied about his first EP, but what if I told you it was for a good reason? This was because an album was rolling out. In April of 2019, the
So you don't
rollout
want the
of Whole
stream
Lotta
to get
Red was
fucked
in
up.
full effect. With Cardi's baby
The
voice
Kanye just
slowly
snatched everyone
taking
streams
over.
yesterday.
Ken was closely working with Cardi at the time,
Oh
building
my
a
goodness.
relationship that would eventually start the Opium label. And because of the belief that the album was going to come out sometime soon, Ken would held the release of Boy
Yeah,
Barbie
kind of cute.
for Whole Lotta Red. Whole Lotta Red was about to
Damn,
drop
that shit got delayed a whole nother year.
and it was further exemplified
The
with a
fuck
song
is
that you
this?
know, leaking, called Pissy Pamper with Young
Damn.
B. And in November 2, 2019, Cardi posted a picture on his Instagram saying Opium Heart. Fans thought Cardi was just being edgy, adding on to his mysterious rock star persona. But something deeper was happening. This was the first sign of Cardi starting the label that would change music forever. Ken followed this rock star energy up by saying
I
they
like he
wished
did.
it was Opium. And another artist was rumored to join the label
Is that right?
alongside Ken, who was already hanging around Cardi at the time, which was Lancey Foe.
He was in Atlanta. Cardi had him in Atlanta.
No, I said I didn't
and I
live
was
it
like,
though.
damn, I just seen
He
him
was
on
meant to
Instagram.
join
That's
us.
crazy. Yeah.
We're not at that point yet. Cardi had to roll out Whole Lotta Red and his new label, which was
Lancey wasn't in it. was he?
moving on to the next decade. Cardi had an arsenal of artists alongside Ken, which was Lil Unky, Capo, and International Jefe, with International Jefe being one of the Ken's most frequent collaborators. But Ken would post another picture to his Twitter alongside Lancey, so rumors of Lancey being an Opium were getting higher and
I
higher.
thought it looked like a mix of Lone and
And
Cardi.
another picture was important more than that one. Cardi was supposed to do an interview with Icebox, and Ken was supposed to be with Cardi for that interview. So a picture of Ken and Cardi would surface in February 6th.
Yeah, I've got a strange
Cardi
ship
being
stuff.
really close to Ken. The opium rollout was in full
Yeah, this
effect,
though.
and a song with Lancey was supposed to come out. But that song wouldn't release just yet. Ken released songs with International Jefe on
But
the
was
song
Lancey an
Spaced
opium,
Out
is he?
and Called Nobody.
I don't even know much about Lancey. He's still looking
And
fast.
that song with Lancey would come out in April 16th, with Ken releasing the long-awaited project Boy Barbie. Boy Barbie is Ken's first official project, which was 4 years in the making, with the project first being mentioned in 2017. The project featured 6 songs with features from International Jefe, Lil
Well,
Unky,
7,
Lancey,
however many
and
years
Lil
for 6
Yachty.
songs.
If you notice the old track list, most of these songs didn't make the cut, as Ken was going for a more different style in the project. The tape showcased flashes of Ken's potential as an artist, having multiple flows and voices in it, such as his aggressive voice on the song Pink Panther with Lancey Foe. And another song that came up was the song Gold Medal with International Jefe and Lil Unky, which actually received a music video in June. If you see that text at the start,
wonderful.
it says opium, style in the Comme des Garçons, asterisk, and the description says apes on opium. The song was also produced by Richie Soph, with fans drawing comparisons of Cardi, Fawny, and Uno to Unky, Jefe, and Ken. And that would hold true only a few years later, but for a different reason.
Wait, what? What does that mean?
Boy Barbie was a solid tape from Ken, but there was something even better that was going to come out. At the time of the release of the tape, the rage genre was at its infancy, with people like Sofago
Wait, this tape on.
as the pioneer or founder of the genre. Fans appointed Ken as another pioneer and founder of the genre, even influencing Cardi and Whole Lotta Red. But we're not at that point yet. Boy Barbie saw Ken's
Didn't Ken say his favorite album of all time is Whole Lotta Red? Yeah, that's
first
crazy.
rage-like song on Mosh Pit, paving the way for what the sound of the next project was gonna be, and that was Teen X.
I didn't listen to
21st of June, Ken
the only
released a
Ken
post on
album I've listened to is The Great Chaos.
Twitter.
I didn't listen to
A
more.
multitude of snippets. This culminated into a
This is
snippet
discography confused
in
me.
that
That.
Twitter post being one of the most iconic Ken songs ever, featuring a beat from Eternal Take producer Starboy and Out of Town, the Dutch
Oh, boy.
duo, who would later shape Ken's future music. But unfortunately, a reoccurring theme in Ken's music would come with his songs being leaked. And due to the immense
Oh, why does he type like that?
pressure of the project being leaked prematurely, he'd scrap the entire thing, saying that Teen X was gonna come, but not from him. Fortunately for Opium fans, Ken would do something in August 14. Ken would
he
release
like a
Teen
kid.
X, featuring productions from the Dutch duo of Out of Town and
only
Starboy,
6 songs.
carrying the sound of the mixtape, being entirely
Yeah, how old
new,
is Starboy? He always look young as
hyper-pop-esque,
shit.
introducing the world into the modern rage sound, with its cover art detailing a Teen X pill on the tongue, showing the
Wait, when was this? Was this after Whole Lotta Red?
The meaning of Teen X, as Ken describes it, is teenage ecstasy.
It means teenage ecstasy is like a young high.
The intro of the mixtape is the song Teen X, talking about themes of hug,
Oh, I thought it was. Wait, I'm confused because everyone he has a certain albums around X. Oh yeah, I guess they're different
which
things.
is a reoccurring theme
I thought
of
Teen X just meant like a teenager version of X.
the album.
I don't.
But there was a song that was more important than
Now,
that.
Poison Dust
A
came
song
first.
that would shape the modern underground today.
I think.
And I'm sure you know what that is. Yeah.
And this is something that blew
People
up.
actually would repost the song hundreds and thousands of times.
Yeah.
This song would actually get Ken his first gold RIAA certification. But aside from Yale, the mixtape also has songs like Why, detailing why people steal Ken's swag, and Pissed Off, the second most popular song off the tape, with a classic production from the Dutch duo once again.
Let's move in the mosh pit.
After the project, Ken would eventually do something else. Ken would ask fans if they wanted Teen X 2 or Boy Barbie 2. But the project that would win out was Teen X Deluxe, which featured a white silhouette of the album, inverting the black theme. Ken also said the project had features, leading to the belief that Cardi and Lancey was going to be on it. The rollout of Teen X Deluxe was met with some pushback, with Ken encountering the same leaking problems that he had before. This was mostly due to Ken having fake friends.
How do you get leaked? And that might sound dumb, but is it? Like when you're sending your songs to other people or something?
And people taking advantage of them. At this point, Ken was working with Cardi's people, notably Joy Division. Joy is a videographer and a fashion designer who helped style Cardi from time to time and would seek his assistance in shooting the music videos for the next project. In October, Ken started previewing the possible theme of the next project, talking about how he's high as hell, and was followed up by
this food's so hidden, but this so juicy.
Project X, with them wearing Teen X merch alongside the caption Deluxe Mode.
Yeah, I never watched that movie.
There was a big issue, and it was Ken. Ken failed to drop the mixtape, and he would say that there would be no features on the tape.
Welcome to Shadow.
And it
I don't know about
wasn't going to be the same. The Deluxe was canceled, and Ken asked his fans for another title for the project. Don't get it wrong though, Ken still has the project. It's just the title not being there. And Ken would settle on a title that we all know and love today, Teen X Relapsed, which is Ken's final EP. But there was something brewing in November. It was something that would push the date back of the project, and for good reason.
Yeah, what is the manifest music?
In Whole Lotta Red, and he was gonna produce and
But how the fuck has Opium still never dropped a song together? Have any of the members actually collabed with Ken on Cardi?
In my opinion, the greatest album of all
I might be
time.
off. I'll probably say the same. Yeah, bro, that listening to your Vultures last night with Aiden made me realize that Cardi fans were fucking weird, but he was just feeling for that Cardi feature, but he wasn't even enjoying the music. I don't know, but he's fucking. He said all he cares about is Cardi and shit. That's crazy. No, hold on, but I'm gonna respect the opinion. I see why people love it, but see, I disagree.
November saw the rollout of the album start with Cardi surprising the world with a post, album turned in, followed up by a snippet of a song produced by Young Lord and Teen X producer Out of Town, which also had Kanye West in the song and Go to the Moon. But even at Ken's highest point, with his next mixtape releasing and his role in producing a song in what's arguably the greatest album of all time, Ken still went through
very arguable.
He said it was okay to be by yourself and alone. He had relationship issues and said he wasted his time with a girl, which would be a recurring theme later in his music. And Ken would do his best to move on by releasing promotional material of Relapsed. This was done through various medications, but the mixing and mastering of the tape wasn't ready yet, and he couldn't drop because he wanted the tape to be fully fleshed out, pushing the date of Teen X Relapse to 2021. And around the same time, something else was being finished. Cardi still didn't release Whole Lotta Red, gaining a lot of backlash from fans. One of those fans came by the name of Mario Judah, and he demanded that Cardi drop the Whole Lotta Red, or he was to drop the album. And that's exactly what he did, copying Cardi's flow, voice, and beats for the album. But Ken didn't really like this and said Mario Judah wasn't cool. But Cardi would finally release the project in December 25, 2020. And the tape would be produced by a variety of producers, including Out of Town, Starboy, Filthy, Lil 88, and most importantly, Ken Carson.
Yo, I thought Filthy shaped a lot that sounded like. I guess Starboy said before.
Ken produced the song Bino, which makes a reference
I got a file, but I'm
to
not
his
gonna,
fellow Opium member Homicide Bino, who, if you didn't know, used to be his former manager. And the beat really sounds like a Ken Carson beat. Ken's also mentioned in the song Teen X, with the song's name paying homage to him. The song featured Future and Cardi producing Masterpiece, and what was to be one of the best songs to come out of Whole Lotta Red, with Cardi repeating the line, the entire album was amazing, filled with high energy tracks, perfect in front of a live audience. And that's exactly what Cardi did. In December 27, there was
Still
an
perform that
announcement
to this
that
day.
Cardi and Ken were gonna perform in New Year's Eve in Cyberworld. However, you still gotta remember the year, 2020,
Cardi.
and the live audience had to be behind a Zoom call.
Oh,
But
fuck.
nevertheless, they would perform
I'll
in
finish my food.
Cyberworld, with Ken showing his capabilities as a live performer.
Is that yellow?
And it showed that he had a lot of potential, with people in the Zoom chat going crazy. The final song that Ken performed in this set
Yeah,
was
Zoom
the song
concert is
High as
crazy.
Hell, a preview into what the next project, Teen X Relapsed, was gonna be, and it was beautiful. And around the same time that Cardi dropped a whole lot of red, he had
that's
another
right.
artist. Associated acts like International Jefe and Capo weren't as involved anymore. But another guy who Ken would be best friends with only a few months later would sign Opium. He's
Oh, so
actually
they
known
didn't
this
know
guy
each other
since he was
before.
16.
I always wondered.
And
Oh, never mind.
Opium J gave him a call right after a whole lot of released, telling him Cardi wants to talk to him. I'm talking about Destroy Lonely, Ken's future Opium.
No voice crack. Yeah, I heard
He was
that.
gonna work with Ken, but not yet. Fans were fiending for new music from Ken, and he'd do just that, but not in the actual tape. Ken released the first of many in his Lost File series, with the songs
Yeah, these are on streaming
Bad
services.
Stuff and Stuck with Lil Yachty, all being primarily produced by Lil 88. This is what we call Lost Files 1. The mixing on this mixtape wasn't the best, but they're throwaways for a reason.
You only
The
kick back
best
off
song
that
to
food.
come off this Lost Files was the song Bad Stuff, and it just puts you in a good mood.
Fuck this shit up. I know what you cannot do, you cannot do, but I cannot fuck this shit up. I know what you cannot do, you cannot do, but I cannot fuck this shit up.
After Ken released this, it was EP time. But
There
what
we
if I
go.
told you that that couldn't happen again? Ken's Instagram was disabled, and Ken and his fans were in shambles. He'd release a picture of him appealing the termination and went on to say that he was retiring from music. It was as if his career was over, but something lit a fire in Ken that made him keep going. The day after, Ken released a video of the High as Hell music video, and on the 31st of January, Ken released Teen X Relapsed, mostly recorded in Los Angeles, featuring
How long
songs like
Bubbling
High
been
as Hell,
around?
produced by the Dutch duo, being one of the 2 songs on that mixtape that would actually release a music video. It's a song that you can both chill to and mosh to, and as Ken describes it,
It's a do what you want song, however you're feeling. Everybody got a personal.
Wait, what song you talking about?
song.
Ken received overwhelmingly positive feedback for the song, and new fans were saying that he was bringing back the 2015 SoundCloud feel of Lil Uzi Vert and Playboi
Yeah,
Carti.
my hands are greasy. What song is this? This kind of hard.
And another notable song to come from Teen X Relapse was the song Teen X Babe, produced by Jubilee and Rourke Bailey, where Ken details his ideal woman.
Yo, these video essay videos would take a while to make.
Teen X Relapse was definitely worth the wait. Fans even expressed their love for this tape, calling it his best EP ever, and it's hard to argue with that. And Ken would also do his first interview.
Yeah, that sounds like the
project
bit for
with the
May.
music group Our
Yeah,
Generation
man.
Music,
Whatever the
hosted
single
by
code
Ayo
was.
Hakeem, who would also interview Destroy Lonely. He would also set up his pop-up shop, following his dreams of actually being a fashion designer, with the Teen X merch being the centerpiece within that pop-up shop, hosted by Cookies and Kicks in Los Angeles, with Ken being asked really tough questions.
Wait, so his dream wasn't even being a rapper, was it?
Signed to Opium. Who else is on that label? Can we say it? Can we
No.
let him know?
Around the same time,
was
there
this?
was another artist tweeting out "Just Opium Please" and "Opium Love."
Mmm.
And he'd go on Instagram Live confirming that he joined the label that would change his career.
I need to keep asking. Yes, I'm open. That's what y'all want to hear me say.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a blank
That's it.
book.
With Lone and Opium, Ken would welcome him with open arms. But they didn't have much public appearances together. But at the time, fans were wondering what Ken was up to. And Ken would do a shocking
Kanye would really
announcement for
do
his next
anything, man.
project. His next project was going to be called Project X. But rumors of the new Opium signee and Cardi making appearances
That's
on
the
the
best
album,
I
due
think,
to him
apparently,
saying
yeah.
he'd bring every
Like, great cares, but better.
If you don't know what Project X is a party rager film about kids throwing the craziest house party ever. And Ken was basing his debut project around that, featuring themes of his childhood and party lifestyle, and just going crazy. Ken would say that the project was going to release in spring/summer 21, sometime around April to August, and he'd go on Instagram Live previewing the possible sounds of the project, and it's just amazing. What's even better than
it does
that
have similar
was
basic
a
coding.
song with the new
Or the other
Open
way around.
signee. We would get the first taste of the Open Twins coming in March 2021, with Ken and Lone having their first collaboration together in the song Casket.
Yeah, this bass is crazy. What?
Casket.
Oh, yo, I could
You know, a lot of shit, bro. Like,
So you and Ken recorded a whole bunch of more music, right?
I just was still Ken yesterday. Like, me and Ken, we do that.
From the first time they collaborated together, there was
Yeah, like,
instant
man, like,
chemistry. It just
chill.
sounded good. Afterwards, Ken would start working hard in the studio for Project X. He'd add on to the rollout by posting pictures of GTA-themed promotional material, followed up by a potential album feature in Lil Tecca. Fans even asked him to
what?
work with Pierre.
Well, I don't know how many songs have they got? What songs have they got together? I know they just dropped one. Check this out. I wanna give you the keys to mine. So these two, it looks like.
Born, in which he'd say no to because Pierre said he wasn't.
I'll let him
interested,
move these ones.
which Pierre is gonna regret in the future. Ken was
Never mind, go back.
pictures of GTA-themed promotional material, followed up by a potential album feature in Lil Tecca. Fans even asked him to work with Pierre Bourne, in which he'd say no to because Pierre said he
They're always on the same level ever since the day I've been going up. No beef, guys. What?
wasn't at his level, which Pierre is gonna regret in the future. Ken was about to turn 21
on
on
the
the
way
11th
around.
of April, and you know what
I don't
that
know, I'm
meant.
confused.
Project X was about to drop, and fans were excited. I was
They
excited.
did like a tour song for that. That would have been crazy.
12, but there was still no album. But what was there was a tweet of Ken saying, "Don't panic. Tell me happy birthday, and I got you."
Yeah,
And
what?
he didn't have us. But what we did have was a picture of King
Yeah, this
Vamp
feel
and
like a
Ken
fucking
taking fit pics together. The
Oh, this is
theory
an
was
iconic
that
photo.
Cardi was going to be on the album, and that's why the delay was happening. This was further supported by Cardi having the Sky music video with people wearing Teen X merch in the music video. But we still didn't get
Yeah.
anything, leading to this picture being modified with the text, "The Liars."
I wonder who. Very off topic, but let's make a quick listen. Who's the biggest liars in music? Kanye goes over Cardi. Cardi, just overall, Kanye's got so many Kendrick albums, but that motherfucker has no Cardi. It's a shit. They don't know. They think Cardi's out there. No, I think I'm pretty sure Kanye's out. Especially recently, people think Cardi's lying, but he hasn't even announced when his album's dropping. That's genuine shit. He didn't say that, so he's technically not even lying. All he said was 2024. He hasn't lied, but two definitely is Cardi. He has lied a lot in his half on that. Who else would be on there? I guess it's Opium. I don't know, but these have got to be the main two in hip hop.
Since Project X wasn't projecting
Um,
until Ken gave another date in May 7th, and Ken would deliver not the album,
Only
but
us, some
an
idiot.
announcement that he was going to be in Summer Smash, one of his first major performances ever. But a person that would be great in Summer Smash at any given time
Yo, he's putting so much.
was
Oh, this is X. I reckon that's from the beat, man.
Tentacion. And on June 18,
I
the
thought that was
third
Ken. I'm dumb as a
anniversary of
bitch.
his death, Ken would
Yeah,
pay
rest in
homage
peace.
to one of the greatest performers of all time, R.I.P. X.
To me, X was like a big energy, bro, because it's like he was like speaking for the youth, really, bro. Wasn't like it was just him getting love, the most love. He was getting the
He
most.
did seem
hate.
like a good person, I
That
think.
shit is crazy how somebody could like just be here today, gone tomorrow. RPX, man.
Yeah, rest in peace, bro. Why are so many
Lost
rappers
Files
passing
2.
away?
But wait, another
Every time I look at the vinyl
and
thing.
Starboy saying that Ken can't drop Lost Files 2. Fortunately enough, Starboy let Ken drop, and songs from Lost Files 2 finally came. And it was a song that fans have been waiting forever for, which was Glock 19.
I had a Glock 19 before I was 19 years old. Ayy, I was only 11 when I saw my dad.
Yeah, I think I heard this.
Ayy.
But the song that overshadows everything is a song that would take over TikTok, putting Ken on the map. And would
You
become
are-
a Ken Carson classic.
Yo, I haven't heard this song in a minute. I forgot about this.
She like, ain't you Ken? Carson,
That's an NCT. Yeah.
Can you call your partner?
Oh no, that one.
For me, I told her.
You know, I think this is someone's like.
But I really
No, someone needs to flag that Twitch
And
alert.
the
So
live performance is all you need to know
might
about
be
the song.
Java or something. I don't want to stop it myself.
Afterwards, Ken would give the actual release date of the album, giving us the date of July 23. And hopefully he's telling
Well,
the
that
truth.
is a horrible feeling. You're waiting for an album to drop. Shit getting ready. That's it, just don't drop that. But with artists like this and Kanye, you sort of gotta get used to it. But it's still a big ass letdown.
But before everything came out, Ken actually had beef with Can. If you don't know who Can is an underground artist who's released songs with Yeet and Summers, being a
No, I know who he is. Like I hear him all the time. But what songs do I actually know by? Yeah, I know this one. Go on, hell. Oh yeah, I do know this.
former producer for Slay World. He even has production credits with Destroy Lonely. Ken apparently said Can was biting his flow, with Can dissing Ken on IG Live. This then led to an audio that you'd hear a year later, with his son talking to his mother about the beef.
Hey Noah, you heard that Can versus Ken beef?
Yo, mom, like no bullshit.
This does say he's simple,
Ken
nigga.
literally wipes the floor with Ken Carson.
Nah, he's not even Teen X. Fuck him.
And
Yeah, he's simple
another
with
day
that one.
passed when Ken finally projected X, releasing the 11-track album
Detected X.
on all streaming platforms, with the album cover being slightly different from the original one. If you notice the album cover, it directly interpolates the Project X movie poster, and the album is exactly what you think of it. Party Rager.
Go on and listen to that
The
shit.
album starts with the song Who's Next, produced by Loso.
I'm gonna listen to it on
And
stream.
It's exactly how you'd feel when a party's just starting. But the song that would come after that
Oh,
is
is it one of those ones that plays out like a movie thing? Yeah, I love those ones.
with fans going absolutely insane when the song plays in the concert.
Yeah, this is it.
The music video for
I'm not gonna. I
the
think that
song
song's a bit
was
overrated.
amazing.
I think.
It has multiple references to the X-Men comics, with
I know,
Ken
I've
doing
listened to
something similar to Juice WRLD and having a mixed reality experience. He even references Kid Cudi's Day and Night in the video. And in the end of the music video, Ken teased another song. And that's the song that's we're going to cover next, which is Run Plus Ran. Run Plus Ran directly picks off from what Rock and Roll had. Run Plus Ran is a song that you can just put on in a party, and that's exactly what the visuals for Run Plus Ran detailed. And there's a second act in the song called Ran, where everyone's just tripping out, turning into creatures, and you're probably just super
Yo, I
tripped
didn't know
out
Ken
back
does
to the
like
party. Not that
shit
I
like
know
that.
that. The last two songs
Yeah, I
that
might have to listen to
are
Project
covered
X.
from
I quite like
X
it.
are Hella and Change.
I like when it's like creative
Hella
albums.
is one of the best
Most
songs
of the
you
songs
can
play
play in
now.
a mosh pit, detailing the entire Rager experience, even though Ken's music isn't really rage.
We gotta fight again.
But the song Change is a song that's gonna put a smile into your face. Ken would say that
Yeah,
Change
his smile
is
is
his
so
realest
keen.
song, and it's kind of hard to argue against that.
Send me the every little bitch and it's up. She dropped the dot and if you pull up. Gotta be cautious with these bitches, yeah. I gotta be stitches, you can't get my love.
Pitchfork actually gave the album a 6.0, and it's not that bad for a debut project. This was also the first project or album
6.
made.
Yeah, 6 is hot. 6 isn't very super good, but I think Pitchfork be a bit violent with their shits. Yeah, where's the reviews? Is this how you look? After everything's there, huh? Yeah, where's this shit? So now I'm gonna listen to. What they rate SZA? 8.9. Damn. Have they read the new Kanye one yet? I don't know.
Under the Opium label. However, fans wanted more music, and Ken would do just that, announcing the release of Project Extended, the Deluxe. It was said to drop once again in Halloween. If you notice a reoccurring pattern with Ken, you know where this is going. Ken would then do a bunch of interviews, most notably in Montreality, saying the iconic line,
Don't be a judger, bro. Don't be a judger. Let God, leave it up to God to judge a motherfucker, bro.
Yeah, I'm confused as shit. So he does believe in God or something? No, but also what I don't know is like they're opium people and stuff. Especially Cardi. Some of them probably, I know Bino, whatever, he be winning questionable sometimes. I wonder if they know they go against God or they just don't think God is real. Whatever, I don't know. I gotta find that.
He ain't even looked in the mirror yet.
But there was still no new music since another guy had to dish something out first. In August 23, the rollout for Cardi's supposed next project started, with him posting the words "narcissist" 9/13/21. Fans theorized
that's lucky
what
stinks.
this might have been.
Yeah,
was it
still hasn't dropped yet.
merch or a tour? Was the new album gonna have Ken Carson and Destroy Lonely? Was it gonna be an album? Unfortunately, it didn't end up being an album. The date 9/13/21 would pass, and all we got was merch. But another thing that we would get was a tour called the Narcissist.
Shit, that's good enough.
And Ken would open up for Cardi, performing the songs with an electric guitar infused instrumental, putting the Narcissist shows into life. And this was most evident in Ken performing in his hometown in Atlanta.
Damn.
Afterwards, Ken would go into the studio with his opening twin, Destroy Lonely, written a song called Raver for Ian Connor's brand Sicko, which has a lot of throwaways for both Ken and Lone. Raver showcases Ken having a crazy flow. You be the judge.
Does it use that flow a lot? I recognize it.
And moving to January, fans were looking at Ken to drop Project Extended. He dropped a bunch of fit pics, most notably wearing the Vetmon Alpha Industries racing jacket, which is a staple within the opium fashion community and the archive fashion.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say this is that jacket like Kanye.
And it's closely related to a hoodie that another guy wore in the future, or whatever.
Yeah.
But a post announcing something more important.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? How do you what? Shit, drop some good music and everyone will forget about that shit. No one gives a fuck about that shit anymore. You're not this. Don't nobody give a fuck about that anymore. How do you check? Isn't it all like this? I don't know, yo, but that's it. Yo, when? Yeah, let's see this list. What the fuck? Yeah, there's some Aiden last list. Beg forget, that's one of the best ones, yo. King. Oh, this list is some hot dog shit, yo. Stars, Keys to My Life. This is one of the worst ones in my opinion. What about that's great? Yo, this is Nipsey Hussle. I don't know who was on that. Fuck some. This list is trash. These top three are all valid. This is probably my top three. Yeah, but that motherfucker went yeah, no, but that's it. It went number one on iTunes like everywhere. It went number one everywhere, and in fucking Israel, which is the Jews, whatever. Yo, am I on the right link? 5 minutes.
Show Opium signee and Cardi making appearance. He even has production credits with Destroy Lonely.
Don't.
This was most evident with classics at Ken to drop Project Extended. But a post announcing something more important.
But that Kanye video is infamous, but
whatever. But a post announcing something more important happened with the Lost Files. Instead of Project Extended, we got Lost Files 3.
Yeah, where do you even listen to
January
this?
29, 2022. And is a fan favorite and one of my favorite Lost Files to come from Ken. It features 9 songs with classics like Hang Fire, which is said to be Ken's most inspirational song.
That's nice.
You don't do it enough. You don't do it enough. I'm high as shit. I got one heart, ain't no tricks.
Another track that would overshadow all of these tracks, and is my favorite track off this album, is the song Murder Music, the epitome of the Opium Twins, with fans saying it's one of their best
first song
collaborations ever.
Why not?
After the Lost Files, the next thing to come was the actual album. And we were just waiting for it. We got a bunch of fit pics, Instagram lives, but we really didn't get anything. Instead, Ken would hang out with Yeet.
This is how every rapper have it, boy. They're hot. No one cares about them, but check the comment section. Drop the album. It could be a fucking anything.
And he would also go to Icebox alongside Destroy Lonely with Yeet in September's.
That motherfucker was a side character.
They got their own episode now for August, with Ken and Lone performing in Europe and North America, called the X-Man Tour. Lone was opening for Ken, and Lil 88 was doing most of the DJ work for the sets. This was followed by another Lost Files and Lost Files 3.5
Oh,
in
damn.
June 2022. Lost Files 3.5 has a lot of songs like
Where's
Lil
that
Vamp,
cover?
which samples Playboy Cardi's Woke Up Like This, and it's catchy.
It's Lil Vamp. She wanna get big, come to my castle and get stoned. It's OPIU and your bitch tatted a heart on ground.
Another notable song from this Lost Files was the song X Games, detailing the extreme lifestyle that an Opium listener would go through. It also pays homage to Burberry Airy, Opium's official skater
Opium fans
and
are
one of the
weird as
most
shit, yeah.
down-to-earth Opium members. And another song would come after this.
I wonder if the people on TikTok and all those comment section stuff that say, you know, they just dick Cardi and treat him like he's fucking whatever. But I wonder if some of them
by
actually
the
serious and
song
like
X
that.
Direct, which is a song
That
that
shit is
puts
sad.
you in the mosh pit. The last song I'm covering from this Lost Files is the song
Oh, what is
Aquafina,
that?
one of the most emotional Ken Carson songs ever. Fans theorized that the song was about one of his girlfriends, and it just details how it feels to be in love. Finally, in June 28, Ken announced the cover art and release date for Project Extended. The project was going to be known as Just X, releasing on the 8th of July 2022. This was then followed in July 6, with Ken releasing the music video for the lead single of the album, which was The End, making references to bands like Green Day, which was the supposed title of the single before he changed its name. Lone even made an appearance in the music video, and if you invert the colors to the music video, you might see.
Yeah, why do they like it?
Finally, and if you invert
Set iPhone to classic. Wow, what is it?
the
Should I
colors
say?
to the music video, you might see something special. Finally, after months of waiting, Ken
What's it for? I'm not gonna watch the whole thing, but I do need to quickly see this. So it just comes up. Or is it just the loan?
But it was just what was for real. I thought you'd never tell, but you switched up on me at the end. Good talk, I ride you, I do down there, go anything for you. I thought they Benjamin.
Yeah, no, I haven't even seen. I don't know what I'm going to be looking for.
would finally release X, featuring 20 tracks executively produced by Playboy Cardi. And
What? Oh, no, that
it
was
was
executive.
met with a bunch of mixed reactions, with people saying it was one of the best projects of that year, including me, and with a lot of critics giving it 0 and calling it hot
Yeah, what?
garbage. Anthony Fantano actually gave this
This
project an
motherfucker
absurdly
always so
low rating,
butthurt.
calling Kent a dollar store Playboy Cardi. But in my opinion, X wasn't like any of that. X was a 20-track album that showed Ken's capabilities, with him growing out of the Teen X persona, becoming the X-Man, which was noted in the intro.
I remember I was just teenage, then I turned to a man. Now they call me X-Man.
But a track that would make you feel like you can just go speeding, I don't recommend you do that.
Yeah,
is
fuck
the song
us,
Go.
fuck it.
And that's exactly how you feel when you're listening to the song.
I got all of these bitches on go. I got all of these bitches on lit. Shawty fell in love with my swag. Now she rockin' Balenciaga.
Nah, he look cold
The
as shit,
song
did
after
it?
this was even better, with fans saying it's what it means to be opium, rapping about fashion and the opium lifestyle. The song's named after ecstasy and MDMA.
Oh, this MDMA.
But there's an even better song to come after this, and that's Freestyle 2. Freestyle 2 is the GOAT mosh pit song, according to Destroy Lonely. It's a song that makes you want to rage, a song that makes you want to break something. Ken even did an interview just for the song, explaining the lyrics. This song even went viral,
Yo, what
with
is
people
Breeze
like
doing?
Biggie
Yo, I've
Bop
never seen this.
making a dance to it. And his girlfriend, Tina Tonkin, would also copy that dance. And to be honest, I think X is a great album, but people didn't like it. But despite the criticism, Ken's Man Tour, with Ken performing live in one of the most crazy shows you can ever see in Rolling Loud. But something else had to come out first before
Yeah.
Extended, and that was Destroy Lonely's No Stylist. Ken was a part of No Stylist as the sole guest feature.
Yo, I'm not listening to
And
this.
on
The
August
songs,
12th,
I know if this
Lone
is
would
good
release
as
the
well.
album, with the song Veteran being one of the best songs to come off the album. But after No Stylist, fans wanted even more. And Extended was about to come soon. So Ken had a preview on his Instagram Live with a snippet where fans would know the lyrics to.
You know, a lot of these videos that make these like Ken's not underground, but like this type of sound videos about this, they all fuck with Max. I guess because Max he's like probably the most tapped in with underground thing.
Even more. And Extended was about to come soon. So Ken had a preview on his Instagram Live with a snippet.
Yeah, what's a long videos that's fun.
Fans would know the lyrics to this song before the song was actually even released. This song would be called Freestyle 3 and would officially be released on Halloween 2022, which was extended, featuring 5 new songs added to the album. Notable songs on this tape are the songs Shoot and Lookbook. But my favorite song off this deluxe is the song Lookbook, produced by Nila World and Lucrative. Lookbook
he told us it. You saw him live. He told us it.
And it's Ken's passion. But there was another thing that you should know, and it was teased in Halloween, with Ken and Lone driving around in masks, with a snippet of a song playing. Fans called the song Snitch, theorizing that this was going to be Ken's song. This was also supposedly to be on Lone's next album, If Looks Could Kill.
I thought it was in Ken's next album. Okay, what is he wearing?
Ken was also
Halloween,
rumored
I
to be
guess.
part of that album. Well, that should be a given, with even more rumors of them working together in a duo mixtape or a duo album. But fans wanted more to come from Ken, and that would come in Ken announcing a song releasing on Valentine's Day. Fans on TikTok went
this
crazy
hard to
for this
see.
song, with users 44boy and 66v3r saying they're only excited for the song dropping instead of Valentine's Day.
That's the
But
opium.
one more thing.
I swear I saw something look exactly like that at the concert.
And that was the Lost Files series.
Yeah.
Ken dropped Lost Files 4, containing songs like Free Young Thug, Bosses, and Let's Go Shopping. First song, Free Young Thug,
I'm hearing them
produced by
sneak
Lucrative,
voice cracks.
pays homage to Young Thug, who was recently incarcerated. And with Ken actually
Is he actually gonna get out? I don't think
makes
so.
an announcement that they need to free him because it's not okay. Finally, the last song I'm covering is Let's Go Shopping, produced by Lucian and Berto. And it gave us a perspective into the new sound that Ken was incorporating into the next project, with Ken talking about his favorite fashion brands.
Let's go shopping. We in Balenciaga. Let's go shopping. I'm sharing on these niggas.
But there's something even deeper here. There was merch released
How many
by
songs
Ken
Ken got in
that
total?
featured the text "A Great Chaos."
He gotta have quite a
So
lot.
that might be the name for the next project. And on Valentine's Day, although not exactly at 12 o'clock, I Need You did release. And if you know the song, it brings a lot of memories back in 2023 and is a pretty nostalgic song if you really think about it. Diddy Bop also made a dance to the song.
Diddy Bop annoying as fuck. Yeah, it is.
But going back to Destroy Lonely, Lone dropped If Looks Could Kill on all streaming platforms, taking over spring 2023. And If Looks Could Kill was supposedly having Ken as a feature in it. This then transitioned into April when Lone posted a fit pic with Ken. Ken's wearing an all-white Rick Owens gimp hoodie, and Lone is in an all-black Balenciaga outfit. Further snippets of Ken and Lone surfaced, with the most notable one being Paranoid, with others saying Ken reclaimed the title of the best Opium member.
This sends up to a great chaos.
It'd also go on an interview with the brand Go, where they would say the greatest blank of all time.
To go number one, I say Rick Owens, just on some essential shit. We were
Rick Owens got a funny ass
right
look to him.
This then culminated in Lone releasing promotional material for If Looks Could Kill. In
This
the
movie
look-
was Jackson, it wasn't hot. It was kind of creative. It was cool. The acting was.
film.
The movie wasn't how it
Ken
was
making
fun to
an
watch.
appearance in the film, having no lines. The album officially came out in May 5, having 26 songs. And remember how Ken was the outro for the last album? He's the outro for this album as well, with Ken being in the song Money and X. This song would gain a lot of traction on TikTok as there's multiple beat pauses in the song, and it's the third most popular song on the album. And we also saw Ken and Lone bring out their best in one another.
This started that whole big boy shit, like Jennifer's body.
And as Lone just dropped his project, there were further rumors of the Opium Twins mixtape coming out. But that was not the case. 2023 was marked with a bunch of lies. The next album that was coming out was gonna be postponed a lot. On a good note though, Ken got his mom a house for a year because of music. And what we did get was a bunch of Instagram lives. The most notable song is the one You Know. And it would take over TikTok only a few months later, with its beat pauses being one of the most notable features in it. This was then followed in June 2, with Ken announcing on Twitter a great chaos July 17th.
Yeah,
followed up by Ken making a burner account called A Great Chaos on the 4th. With that account having the words
So when that finally dropped, that's it would have
profile
been.
picture and its content containing promotional material for the album. This was then
Yeah, I'm not
followed
waiting
up
for
by
albums no more, but I'm just happy I got. What the fuck is Nicki Minaj's profile? I'm just happy I got the Kanye album.
confirming the release next month. I think you see a pattern. Ken was also seen hanging around with Lil Uzi, with Uzi bringing him out to perform in the Governor's Ball in New York City. Ken previewed a music file containing Uzi and Destroy Lonely on a supposed song called Like This. Uzi was also rumored to drop Pink Tape the next month, and Ken might make an appearance on an album. With the promotion of A Great Chaos in full effect,
Yeah, I don't know. Ken can
was
actually make
being
beats.
accused of stealing something. People
know,
were saying he was stealing Yabujin and Cemetery's aesthetic, as Yabujin is also known for that high saturation style in his videos and promotional material, and Cemetery is known for the bats and being in graveyards. But again, Ken is only really taking inspiration from different artists. Another theme from the rollout was the Rick Owens GIMP holes from the various Rick Owens sets that contain them. Ken would convert the pictures of pop culture like Ed, Ed, and Eddie into the GIMP holes from Rick Owens. That would define A Great Chaos. And you could put it in text too, put it in the chat. Amidst all of this, A Great Chaos was getting closer and closer. Ken was going on Instagram Live previewing snippets of the album.
What's this
He
filter?
finally released a track list in June 26, having 14 tracks, with tracks like Singapore, Paranoid,
Wait, how many? There's 8.
and Jennifer's Body being confirmed to be on the album. Ken also started receiving a bunch of backlash for the imagery he was portraying in the rollout, with Ken being called disgusting for his actions. But we also got something else.
You know, I got this beat from this one rapper, right? And he a young nigga, he younger than me. And his name Ken Carson. Like my biggest idol. Secret updates. Get you different stage.
Ken and Uzi would make another appearance together, with Destroy Lonely also being in there in Montreality, where Uzi talks about how he gets his styling tips from Ken and Lone.
Because they real ass niggas and they dress better than me. They actually be teaching me what to do.
Cardi would also start the rollout for his next album, with a tour being announced called the Antagonist Tour. The tour had
Still hasn't
all the
started,
OP members in its lineup, including Ken, but that wasn't until September last year. So
the style
Great
is so
Chaos
weird.
should be dropping before the tour. Finally, in July 12th, Ken had an announcement saying, "Here we go," with another tweet containing the Rick Owens GIMP mask and text. He announced the release of the lead single of the album in Freestyle 4, or It's Over. Unfortunately, that day also had an announcement with Ken not being able to release the album because of factors outside of his control. A Great Chaos never came out that July. All we got was more lies and Instagram lives.
Didn't come out
And
like
around the
4
time,
months.
Cardi was also touring.
Wait.
And Cardi would do a show in Miami where he would have an after party.
Oh, but
And Ken and Lone and Opium Baby are trapped in a cage.
Oh,
with
I
Cardi
can
just
see,
jumping
yeah.
on top of them. He was doing all that, but a great chaos wasn't there yet. With fans looking for the album. There would be some hope though, as Ken and August would post a picture in the It's Over.
Yeah, I'm kind of hard, bro.
We were finally getting
I'm
new
sorry, I
music,
had to let it out.
or so we thought.
No point,
Around
no
the
good
time,
time.
Ken went to Europe. A notable performance in this European tour was the performance in Blockfest, where he performed in Tampere, Finland. And European fans really brought the energy. Ken also did interviews in Europe with him talking about songs on the album. This was most evident in him talking about the song that would go crazy all over TikTok. He talks about how Green Day's really inspired the song and how he's trying to take a different direction for the album. When Ken got back to the US, he did an interview with On
AMP.
And some people noticed there was something changing in Ken. He was gaining a little weight and started comparing him to Lucky and said he ate the album. But Ken would do something about this later that would shock all the Opium fans. But we're not there yet. Thankfully, in September 7, we got a date that was possible and consistent with Ken. He announced the release of the album on Friday the 13th. What comforted fans even more was the fact that Ken posted a picture of him in a mask with the date 2023-10-13. We also got confirmations for music videos in the album, with Jennifer's Body.mp4 being posted. And you remember how Ken gained a little weight? Well, that's not the case anymore. Fans were shocked when Ken posted a picture on Snapchat, looking nice, with a chiseled jawline. Fans even joked around saying he was mewing, which is the act of putting the tongue on the roof of your mouth, and that Ken was look-smacking for the album. Ken then dropped a tweet saying so excited a week before the album dropped, and had the pre-save link posted on the 6th, with Ken revealing the cover art.
But I don't get the point in this shit. Why would you pay $10 especially? Why would you pay for a digital album in general? What's the point of that? You can just download? Oh, you get the files maybe. I don't know, bro.
Art for the album. The album had an additional 18 tracks.
You can download the files either way.
And we were blessed with a variety of new songs. With the album right around the corner, the promotion would make it all the way to New York City's Times Square. And we'd get an announcement of a listening party happening in Brooklyn Hill from Spotify. Now, when I tell you the show was crazy, the show was crazy. And chaos would finally drop on the 13th, with fans calling it Ken's best album to date. And this album would become his most popular album ever. And most of the songs on this album have over 10 million streams. The album had so many highlights, most notably in Jennifer's Body, which took over TikTok. The song actually pays homage to Green Day's Gapped Riddance with its intro. He also included a line in the song.
Fuck.
Jennifer's body, my business, a honey, my business, a boy, I eat him. She don't even want no food, it's deep, the only thing I feed him.
The song after this, which is Fighting My Demons, was produced by the Dutch duo Bart Howe, Warren Hunter, and LVIS, and is one of the best songs to come off the album, with the song going so perfect in the mosh pit. And another song I'm covering on this album is the song Singapore, where Ken and Lone would go back and forth on an alien-like beat produced by Lil 88, Nick Spiders.
That song's not amazing, it's good.
And it's just like the snippet that's always been previewed, with Ken and Lone doing their thing.
Rockin' Magic City with 100 through the whole thing. I got rich before I turned 23 like LeBron James. I get higher than a UFO, bitch, I'm an alien. I just got this hoe from the middle.
Yeah, new Ken so much better.
A song that I can't do much justice is the song Hardcore. There's actually a TikTok edited version of the song with a woman screaming. It's called the AGC Mix, and fans on TikTok would make the song even better. The production from the Dutch duo wholeheartedly complements the song's vibe. But an even more complex beat that just sounds absolutely mind-boggling is the song Me and My Cup.
I remember those
with
TikTok
Ken's
pages that
Arsenal
were big.
producers making an effort to produce the best thing they can on the song. And it's my favorite Ken song ever.
The fuck is a squabble?
It's
How
my
many times you
favorite
played
Ken
this
song ever.
That might be my favorite Ken song.
A Great Chaos is Ken's most recent album and would go down as an album that fans would continue saying is album of the year. And personally, I would say it's album of the year. Fantano even gave the album a 3 out of 10, which is basically an Opium 9, a vast improvement from the last rating he gave him. The album went on to debut at number 11 on the Billboard Hot 200 and is by far Ken's most popular album ever. Drake even followed Ken and gave him a cosign. And
I don't get what a
also
cosign is. I guess you just being
released for the album with signed CDs coming out for people who opted for physical copies, and A Great Chaos long sleeves and shirt releasing for all his fashion people. But this also led fans to wanting more music, and there were a lot of snippets that were unanswered. The most notable snippet from this is the song Double O Dark Side, which I believe is going to be the best collaboration between Ken and Lone since MDMA.
My diamonds came from Africa, bro. My bitch from Berlin. It's right there, bitch from Italy. Long go for girlfriend.
And another thing came in November 6th, with Ken
Isn't he
tweeting out
supposed
the
to drop
word
a deluxe?
more, confirming
Oh no, yeah, more
the
chaos.
deluxe to A Great Chaos.
I don't know if that got leaked. I don't know if that
more
was a leak or if it's one I listened to.
Chaos, with him going on tour with Red Hot Chili Peppers and Ice Cube
Yeah, this is the most random shit, by the way.
on December 4, with fans joking that Ken was gonna have grandpas marching to his music. But
That shit
something
happened.
even more
Yeah.
important came in December 14 when Cardi published a video alongside Ken and Lone, with people theorizing that Ken might make a feature on that song. And
Yeah, that's
Cardi
gonna
would
happen.
release that song, which would
That's
eventually
gonna
be called Tundra or Hood by Air.
I jump out the lamb truck. She thought that I lost it. I jump on my red, I push shot, then I go to Boston.
Although Ken doesn't play a direct feature in the song, Cardi would hug Ken in the music video. And XQC, the streamer, would react to this music video.
Oh, I remember
in the
this shit.
music
Hold on.
video. And XQC, the streamer, would react to this music video by saying that Ken looks like Ja Morant. And Ken would comment on that reaction. But speaking of Ja, Ken would make an appearance
Yeah, I nigga made hints in my pants.
in
Yeah, I'm
that
pissed that he was
Atlanta
joking.
Hawks
That's-
game. And as of January 2024, Ken has released a few songs, not officially, in Rick and Designer. But no official announcement of More Chaos's release date has come out yet. He'd also do a song officially released by the German rapper
shit, I'm in the end of the
UFO
beat.
361, produced by Lucid Beats, called Rick Owens, showing Ken's ability to rap on a Jersey beat. And so far, that's all we have. Ken, to me, is one of the most inspirational
And Bella,
figures
another
in
thought for the end of the video.
alongside Lone and Cardi. I copy his clothes, I copy his drip, and he's one of my favorite artists. And I feel like we could all take a lesson from his journey through working hard to go up and meeting the right people to get us where we need to be. So I appreciate each and every one of you for making it to the end of the video, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a good ass video. That's not even feel like an hour. Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna start with some more long videos, but that was amazing, man. That was fun to watch.